name is Bryan Davis. I'm the Managing Director of Furman Innovation Entrepreneurship, and have the pleasure of being with Bill Mitchell and Brady Taylor today from Billiam Jeans. So Bill, founder, designer, creative leader extraordinaire at Greenville-based Billiam Jeans, and Brady, as I understand it, creative director and also the X Factor. So pumped to have you guys here to talk a little bit about your business. And the reason why specifically we've engaged with you guys is as we're thankfully back on campus and getting things started back at Furman with students coming on, actually coming on campus. We wanted to take the health side of things seriously, but also try to have a little fun with it. And as we launched our new Paladin Pitch events, or PPE, pandemic pun, we decided we want to have fun with how we design stuff. So we came up with this really cool little gator that we're handing out to students that, as you see, likes to pitch. And these were handcrafted right here in our backyard in Greenville by Bill, Brady, and their team. So we want to have a chance to be able to spend a little time with you guys today to learn more about you and your company. So Bill and Brady, I'll kick it to you guys to tell us a little bit about your entrepreneurial journey, your company, and kind of what makes you guys different.
Yeah, it's awesome. Well, Bryan, Furman, thank you for having us.
Yes.
My name is Bill. I've been making clothes since I graduated Clemson in 2010. So it's been a little over 10 years that we've had Billiam as an entity. And, it's been kind of a passion project of mine to make things from scratch. I found that clothing was something that I personally enjoyed making, and I knew that I could make other people happy by making them that thing that they've always wanted. So over, the 10 years, we've done t-shirts, jeans, belts, wallets, aprons, all sorts of stuff for really cool people. And, everyone's a really cool person. So for everyone that's bought stuff from us, we're, we've been really lucky to have a good customer base. But when COVID hit, it was one of those situations where everyone was rushing to make masks and everyone was needing masks, but unless you had a sewing machine and the know-with-all to use it and where the fabric came from and everything, unless you had something in place, you really didn't have an option. And found ourselves once again kind of in a perfect position to just strike while the iron was hot. So we've been making masks now for 5 months, and we discontinued blue jeans while we have been making masks, and we've made more money than ever before without our main product, which, in talking about entrepreneurship and pivoting, I mean, it's actually kind of crazy to think that we could launch a product and be more successful than the thing we've been doing for 10 years. So obviously it all snowballs together, but that's my thing, that's me, and Brady, he's been with us for a while, and I'll let you go for it.
Yeah, so I just finished my freshman year of college and was kind of trying to figure out where life was headed, as most, post-freshman year students are doing. So I decided to apply for an internship with Bill. That was 4 years ago at this point. I started part-time. After the first week, Bill told me, hey man, really love your work ethic. How about you come on full-time? And so have just kind of developed ever since then. Started off doing leather, pretty much through the job learned everything, whether that was sewing, whether that was Adobe Illustrator. I taught myself kind of through YouTube and stuff like that. And then, comes full circle, I have to use programs like that to create, the gator and things like that. So you kind of developed through on-the-site experience.
Yeah, well, no, that's perfect. Thanks. And another question too, I know Bill and Brady, I know you guys are really mission driven on what you do with your profits as well, and how you support the community and individuals that need support, and missions that need attention. So maybe you can share with us for a second, what are the types of things that get you excited in terms of being mission driven?
Absolutely. Well, I think that doing something that I'm passionate about and recommending that other people do things that they're passionate about is kind of a contagious feeling. So the more that I am doing what I love, the more that I know that other people are going to enjoy that, and then hopefully it inspires them to do that themselves. So entrepreneurship, I think, is just a good sense of hope for people, just baseline. And then, after you've impressed somebody by making them something that they really appreciate and they really enjoy, I think it's fun to then take the money that they gave you and then do cool things with it that make it feel that much more altruistic for the customer and then for myself as well. So for the first 8 years of Billiam, we gave 20% of all of our profit to fight human trafficking. And we were doing that for a long time. It was kind of like almost like a fixed interest rate, like a fixed giving amount. And then, when something like this happened, it was really interesting because we were able to donate. We donated so many masks, thousands of masks. We did. We got everyone in the prison in downtown Greenville. We got the entire staff of the Greenville Detention Center masks because we knew that people that were in prison, we started to hear about these outbreaks in prison, and people are in cells. You can't go anywhere. So, if that infects one person, pretty much everyone in jail is getting it. So we thought that was crazy. We thought nobody was going to do anything like that. So that was a statement we wanted to make, the forgotten people. We gave 600 to people that were either HIV positive or had AIDS in Greenville because we knew that people that were immunocompromised were at huge risk of infection, and that infection being a bad infection. We got everyone, the non-surgical staff at St. Francis downtown. We got the entire staff those masks. And then we gave masks to an organization called Hispanic Alliance, where we heard that, there was a kind of overwhelming majority of people within the Hispanic community that were at risk because a lot of people in the Hispanic community were essential workers. And so we donated to them in a really cool way. We did a really awesome artist collaboration with a guy in Florida called the Dreamers Series. And, it's just kind of whatever we could do. And then we donated the remaining masks that we had to a church up the road. They were just giving out food baskets, and we just came over with 100 masks and just came out of nowhere. So that's kind of having the flexibility, I think, to give and to help where you see the need, specifically when the need arises. That's something that's always important to me. So I think that's the 360 on that.
No, thanks for that. I think that's so cool. I mean, that's what gets us excited about working with and supporting local entrepreneurs and what we do, and how we're spending our money too on things to make sure we're supporting not only entrepreneurs that grow in our backyard, but leaders in the community like yourselves too, that are wanting to make sure that you're pouring back into the community as well. So proud to be able to work with you on this.
I appreciate that. The money we got from masks, it's just kind of an investment in tools to create more products to help more people, or it offsets the cost of the donations that we actually give. So we do it as well.
Well, I know you touched on this a little bit already, but when I say COVID-19 and agility, what does continued growth and progress look like for you through this? You mentioned eliminating product lines and things like that already, but maybe just in a nutshell again, what does that look like in this pandemic era?
Brady, why don't you swing at that one?
I think just when you say the agility, what pops in my head immediately was kind of when we made that decision when COVID was first hitting, we were trying to decide if we were going to get into masks or not, and we kind of prototyped some stuff, and then in the US they hadn't really taken off yet, so people weren't really receptive to that idea and stuff.
So like February or March.
It was really really early. It was probably February, and we were just like, all right, I guess we'll hold off on this. And then a few weeks later, it like really started to kind of build momentum, and people were like, yeah, you need to wear masks. So I remember one day Bill texted me and was like, you're not gonna recognize the shop tomorrow. And I came in, and the layout of the shop was completely different. For the next 3 weeks straight, Bill basically slept in the shop, that kind of stuff. I would come in, we brought in my brother to come help us just because we had so much going on. So basically it was that agility to go from where we were making jeans daily, or aprons or belts or whatever it is, and take those same machines and transform them into something that was timely and that fit what the customer, it's weird to think of the US as a customer, but
Yeah.
what they needed,
Yeah. And we have changed the way that we make masks 4 times. I think 4 times. At least. And I looked around at all of the tools that I had, and I would say maybe this is the best way that I would answer this question, is that, when you have a task that you are trying to accomplish, you only have a certain amount of tools and materials available to you. And you have to just, go with the paperclip and the tape and just figure out how to make it work.
Yeah.
I thought through the fastest way I could make it. We started ordering supplies. We started just, all in, going for it. But yeah, I'd say that's it. It's looking around at what we had and how we could meet the need without buying new equipment. It was looking through what we already had.
What a cool part of, thanks for sharing that. I mean, what a cool part of hearing how just the nature of being an entrepreneur and having to look at what's over the horizon and sometimes making some bets before things actually happen, and going for it. And then as things are going wrong, having to pivot and be aware of market changes and customer demands that change and regulations and everything else. So that's really cool to hear how that part of the journey has been for you guys. The last part we're going to finish with is probably the most fun part of these interviews, and it's part that we call facts, failures, and fiction. So what I want to know from this is question number 1 on the fact side. What's a little known fact about your company, about Billiam Jeans, that other people may not know?
There are a million ways to answer this. I would say on a kind of maybe more serious level, we've never had any investment. We've never used a credit card. We've never taken money from anyone in the 10 years of business that we've been around. And I don't know a lot of people that have built a business without any investment. Yeah, I didn't have any money when we started. We had like a couple $100, like personally. So to grow a business that's made over $1 million, like from nothing, feels really cool. And I've wanted to tell people that from a statement of, if you don't have any money right now and you have an idea, maybe it's just going to take you longer than what the people that you're comparing yourself to are doing. But if you put in the time and you really believe in what you're doing, you have the passion, can keep going, you can get there.
Nice.
And
what's one failure that stands out? Maybe Bill, even more of a question for you here as you're starting your company.
I think, for me, specifically talking about failures, believing in myself and knowing how much confidence I had in where we could go, and then understanding maybe where I was at the moment and the difference between maybe who I thought I was and who I actually was. I think that's kind of a reckoning that needs to happen in every entrepreneur. Having the patience to put in the time and not be so excited about your idea that you're kind of bulldozing people and so I don't know. I mean, I think that most of my mistakes would have probably been just being so eager and maybe jumping an idea. Well, I don't know. I mean, to answer that question, I think that everything that I've done that's been a mistake has turned out to be an amazing story and an amazing point of the journey that has made us better. So
the last question I was going to finish up with you guys today is on the fiction side of things. So what's a piece of fiction, if you will, as it relates to growing a business that you would say, or that you would think of as fiction from what people would commonly think of versus what you've experienced as a reality of growing a business?
I think a way I would answer that is that, entrepreneurs like myself or Brady, I run at a different frequency than a lot of people. I tire people out. I talk a lot. I'm a verbal processor. So there's a lot of ideas that I'm always just, should we do this? Should we do this? Should we do this? And I think that maybe there's kind of this level of people are always thinking that, that maybe like because of that, it's like we're always happy and focused. But I think when you tell so many ideas, it just means that there's a lot of ideas that you don't do. So I think my failure rate of actually connecting with some of these ideas over time, has led to, long stretches of depression and anxiety, and dealing with kind of the mental health of no one really believes in me. No one believes that this thing that I'm saying is going to come true. And then maybe the self-doubt of, am I drinking my own Kool-Aid right now? Or am I really a visionary and a pioneer?
Yeah.
And that's always the balance that the entrepreneur lives in. I feel like a leader has to go first into battle, charge forward, and you just hope that people come behind you. But honestly, I just got to charge in and just be like, listen, if people are coming, they're coming. If they're not, I'm still charging in because I believe in this thing.